much earlier, but yeah, life is busy, so I'm making this video now. And also I thought maybe it is better that I'm making this video now because you also had a chance to read this book, because we are going to be talking about Onyx Storm and there will be spoilers for sure, so I can discuss this book with you. So of course, if you haven't read it yet, please do not watch this video. This is only for those who read it. And as usual, I'm happy to see your comments. There is a lot of discussion already, and I will just say probably all the same things about it, but maybe I'll just give also my opinion on some parts of the book, so yeah, if you agree with me or disagree, or if you have something to discuss, please leave the comments. And I know there are a couple of subscribers that like to watch these videos. I'm very grateful to you guys. This is a very small channel and it is more like I don't know, it's just because it's mostly for me, because I love talking about books and I don't have friends that read as much as I do or read all the same books, so I just need sometimes to discuss them with someone. Anyways, let's start. I'll get something to drink first because I'm very thirsty. It's really hot in New Zealand. Well, not in New Zealand, but maybe in some parts of New Zealand it's cold, but it was really hot today. But for us, it's the beginning of autumn today. Or not today. Today is the 1st of March. I'm not sure when I will post this video, but cheers, guys. I don't think it's a good idea to drink cola before going to sleep, but I just really want it. Okay, so I think in this video I will not follow the questions I usually follow for my book club, even though I still have them here just in case. Maybe I'll remember some questions, but it's mostly a video, like a review or something, like on parts that I loved, or like parts of the books and some things that I didn't understand or didn't enjoy. So yeah, so let's start with some ASMR sounds. Well, I have ordered this book. I pre-ordered this book when it was out on 21st of January, I think, and I got it on the 21st of January. It's really pretty. Dragon. Brave the dark. Onyx Storm. So save his dragon, and it was Onyx Storm, like his power worked in a way that everything was black and everyone was dead. Well, not everyone, but well, his what's the name? Not the master. Was it like a teacher? I forgot. Berwin. The venom that made him. So that's why it's called Onyx Storm. Black Storm. Shadow Storm. Oh, and by the way, there is this drawing of Violet and Zayden and the little cake. That's the other part of it. And yeah, these are the first books. Okay guys, let's talk about the book. Okay, so overall I liked this book. When I finished it, I was like, yeah, I am satisfied with this book, with the book number 3. But I still think that Fourth Wind was the best book of the series so far. Of course. And it was so good that Iron Flame or Onyx Storm so far, well, they couldn't beat it yet. There were some scenes of his behavior in particular that I kind of was like, what? It's not Zayden. And I know, of course, you would say that's because he's venom, because he was turning venom. That's why he was so easy. Like he was kind of more aggressive, and he was very easy to become angry or whatever, even while just protecting Violet. And he was like super jealous, and yeah, well, I'm not sure if it was because he was becoming a venom and he was like fighting it, and that's why he was like that unstable, or it's because it's a part of him, because I didn't really like that part of him. I didn't find it like I wouldn't go for the guy like that. Zayden from the first book, that's my type. I mean, of course, yes, he's strong and beautiful and blah blah blah, but he's also like kind of collected and calm, and if he speaks, then his words mean something. And he's also very smart and loyal, and you know, the kind of guy that I would fall for. He's like recent, you know, but recent is a little bit blah blah blah, but from Akatar, I mean, he's a bit blah blah blah, but they still were kind of the same in the Fourth Wing book. But here he's a little bit more like another type of man who other girls may like. possessive. But for me, it felt like insecurity, which I also understand that maybe was a part of him going through this process of fighting the venom in him. I don't know. Tell me what you think about it. Like, the main point is that what I didn't like in this book is Satan. I was kind of disappointed at him. And yeah, it was very actually disappointing. Like I because I loved this guy. And yeah. I mean, of course it's just a character from the book, but you know, it was like a little bit sad for me because maybe there will be a redemption. Like maybe in book 4 or 5 he'll be back to his, well, I don't know, maybe in book 5, well, maybe when he stops being Venom, he will become whatever he is, like his true self. And yeah, because why I think maybe he was behaving like this only because of becoming Venom is when they were on that island. I don't remember which one, where he didn't have any powers and everyone. Which one was that? Like they were walking around and he was so calm, and because he didn't have these powers, and he was like very calm and enjoying everything around him. And remember when Violet kind of thought that maybe that would be a good idea just to run away together and just live somewhere quiet with no magic, just, you know, just themselves. I remember like when she had this thought that maybe Attackers' offer was a good idea. But of course I think she changed this thought very quickly. She was like, yeah, we can't do that. We need to save the world. So the first part of the book, I didn't really like it. I remember I saw a lot of videos on TikTok like that people would be like, especially girls would be like, how I imagined I'm going to read the Onyx Storm, and they're like reading it really fast, and then how I actually read the book, and they were like, what's happening? Like so many names, so many things. Like, yeah, it was a bit confusing. It was a lot in the beginning. I was like trying to remember everything and everyone, and also I was a bit annoyed by Zayden, and I was like, what's happening, guys? But of course, the parts where they travel, like when they went to Deverelli, I think Deverelli, to meet King Cortland, and then when they traveled the isles, looking for Arids, for Antarna's dragons. That was the best part of the book. Like, I read it, I remember I couldn't stop reading those parts, like those adventures. And yeah, all of them were really nice. And the part about Zayden's mom, I really enjoyed it. when they went to the Isle of Sinal. Like, about the gifts and all the Traegers situation. I mean, oh my gosh. I was like, of course, first of all, I was kind of shocked. It was a twist with the arrow. Spoiler, guys, huge spoiler with the arrow. Like, yeah, I remember I was shocked, but also I was like so, well, not happy about it. That would be weird, but just like, I was like, yeah, that is good. That's a good storytelling. That's an interesting story. Like, I was really enjoying the story, like the twist of it. And yeah, and I read a little bit because there's so much going on in this book. Like, you need actually to read some stuff to like a summary or something where people like putting everything on the shelves, especially the ending, and of course we will talk about the ending. So I heard like a couple of things about this arrow gift situation, and about Traeger, and about Catriona, because there was love interest between her and Traeger. First of all, is that the arrow, it was not only because he received an arrow into his heart, and that's why there was like an arrow, the gift, right? The gift was an arrow, but also because the arrow was kind of showing the way to the Irids. You know what I mean? Like, because they went to some islands, right? And they decided to stay on one island to go to this island to bury Traeger. And that's how they found Irids. Like, that's where Irids appeared. So, like, his theory here, that his death kind of showed the way to Irids, and that was a gift from Sinal. And also that this love story didn't happen because maybe later there will be an interest or a marriage, maybe without love or anything, between Eric and Catriona, so she will become a queen. So yeah, I'm not sure, like, these are just theories, so we don't know what's going to happen. And also because Eric got the mirror, well, there will probably something, and the compass, right? There's also some discussion about it, like maybe it's like Jack Sparrow compass that shows the way, and it will probably, or maybe will show the way to Satan, when of course Violet will go to look for him, even though he left a note not looking for him. And here, let's move on to the ending, to the final battle, because actually, like, this book, I think the first part, of course, like the first half of it, like, yeah, there are things going on, but let's be real, like, everything important happens mostly in the second half of the book. That's why I'm talking a lot about it. Like the ending. First of all, what the happened in the ending? Like, you're like, I remember I was like reading, and then here we go. She's unconscious. She wakes up. So many mysteries, like, what happened? And there are many theories of what happened, like, obvious one, like why her memory was erased, is that she wanted to be safe. If she is to be interrogated, her memory is erased and she doesn't know where Zayden is, and she wants to keep him safe because, well, he turned Venom. He used those powers, and yeah, and he left, and that's why she doesn't have, like, she asked Imogen, who erased her memory, as we remember, to do it, so they're both safe. But Imogen will have this information, right? She knows what happened. She probably knows what happened if she did that, right? Also, there are theories that it was planned, like, even before they went to look for Irids. Like, all of this happened, and also, of course, the marriage, right? They are married. She has the ring, and the thing is that what was that? He left a note. Was like, "Don't look for him now. Don't look for me. Now it's yours." Something like that. What's yours? Probably Tyrandor. I don't know how to pronounce it right. Like she's a duchess now, and maybe he kind of protected her in that way, making her, like, marrying her because of love, of course, but also because she is now a duchess and she has some sort of, like, powers. Yeah. What else? We don't know who died. Like, there are writers in Dragons that I missed, and some of them died, and we don't know who. And we know that Imogen erased her memory because it was pretty obvious, and that and we know that, kind of know that she doesn't remember the last 12 hours. Violet doesn't remember, and yeah, because there are some also, like, discussions that she doesn't have, like, these memories, not only because to keep both of them safe, but maybe because there is something else happened, something painful, or something or maybe she even didn't ask Imogen to erase her memory. Maybe Imogen did that herself for some reasons. So yeah, there's so many questions, no answers at all. Like, we will get them, I guess, in the next book. But yeah. Oh, and also, of course, who is another Venom? Who turned, like, who has become a Venom as well, like his brother. Of course, like, most of all, people say that it's probably, and I think so, it's probably Bodhi, probably not Bodhi, because he was kind of his shadow, and he was for balance, and blah blah blah, and it's probably him because, like, he should have stayed to rule Tyrandor when Zayden is a Venom, but because probably Bodhi is a Venom as well now, so Zayden made Violet a duchess so she can take care of Tyrandor. Guys, is it Tyrandor? Like, I checked some names, but I completely forgot about this one. Because I read, like, people say that maybe it's not Bodhi, maybe it's Brennan, Violet's brother. It's also a chance, because, like, he's a sibling, a brother. So, yeah. So that's why I liked this book. I liked it because there is some things that we want to know, and we wait for the fourth book to read and to understand what happened. Also, the part about traveling islands was like, I love this in fantasy books. I love this so much when they go to different, like, when they travel somewhere to different kingdoms or whatever. I remember in Akatar, where was it? I think in book 2, they traveled also to other courts, and it was my favorite part. Like, I love it. It's so interesting. Like, the world building is so much fun. And like when they travel and when they arrive to this new island, and like you don't know what to expect. You kind of know because they worship a god, and we know, like for example, Sinal is a god of luck, or Dan is a god of war, or whatever. But yeah, you kind of know what to expect, but it's still like you're still kind of anticipating what's going to happen. And that's why I also remember I liked, Mockingjay. What's the name of the story? Kidneys Everything. Like the second book and the second movie. Like, oh my gosh, it's the best. It's better than the first one. Like when those clocks remember the hours and everything changes. Like, oh, it's good. I like when there is like when the author keeps you on your toes. Like, I mean, of course we all like it. It should be in balance though. Like, you can't do it for a really long time, because otherwise you get bored, or like. But here I think it was enough in this book. Yeah, I think the second half of it was so much better than the first one. And yes, I'm not sure about Zayden. Like, I was kind of disappointed in him. Not in Violet though, but yeah, but a little bit maybe. Like, I enjoyed the story, but the love story, not in this one. I remember I was so in love with these characters in the first book, in Fourth Wing. Like Zayden, oh my gosh. Like, I even put him on the first place of my favorite book boyfriends, but no, he's not there anymore. I think recent will stay there for a while now. He's my favorite. So yeah, I think that's it for today. There was a lot of blah 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 and not much of ASMR triggers, but just whispering, But I hope, I don't know, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it helped you to relax a little bit, or maybe give you some, maybe you can think now about how you feel about this book. Of course, you probably had some opinion about it when you finished it, and of course I would like to hear it, because maybe I'm wrong about Zayden. It's not like I'm like, yeah, Zayden is bad, I don't like him anymore. No, it's not like that. It's just it's how I felt. And maybe, yeah, as I said, maybe it's just because it was a very times are hard. Of course, I'm not Violet, and Satan is not my husband. Whatever, and maybe that's why. Maybe, yeah, like maybe because it's hard times for him, it's like depression or something, you know. When you're depressed, you behave differently, and of course, she kept loving him. So yeah, it's an interesting. But you know what? I think the book is good, like, because there are some books that you read and you're like, yeah, I didn't like that and that and that, and it was boring and it was blah blah blah. Like you didn't really enjoy it. But here, like, yes, there are parts that I love, there are parts that I didn't like, but there is definitely a lot to talk about, like to discuss. Like, yeah, it gives you some, you know, food for thought. Like you finish the book and